Macca's Guides.
Hey, what's up guys, Macca here. The goal of the channel has been always to help as many people as possible, and full game walkthroughs is one of the ways I do that. However, it is very difficult to do full game walkthroughs and cover new games at the same time, so we're trying things a little bit differently today. And what we're doing is I have had my friend, Mr BlackMagik, whose game knowledge and skill I trust, create a full game walkthrough for me for Uncanny Valley. I've taken it, I've looked through it, I've made people use it to make sure it's accurate and useful. It has the Macca seal of approval, and this is Uncanny Valley, the full 100% game walkthrough by Mr. BlackMagik. Let me know in the comments down below if this is an idea you support in the future, and let me know how you think he did, and hopefully we're going to continue going forward with this if you guys enjoy it. Thank you for watching. Peace.
What's going on, guys? Magic here on behalf of Macca, bringing you a 100% full game walkthrough of Uncanny Valley. Now, if you follow this video, you'll get all 12 achievements for a full 1000 gamer score. It'll take about the roughly amount of time as this video. It's 3 quick playthroughs. There's 3 different endings to the game that we have to get for the achievements. So we're doing 3 very fast playthroughs. The first is only about 30 minutes. There are some missable things in here. You can mess up the endings, so be sure to pay close attention to what I'm doing and just do exactly as I do in the video, and you'll be able to get all of those in no time. So let's start off here. The controls are very simple. Use the D-pad to move around, A to interact. So right there at the beginning, you want to push that dumpster in front of the fence, jump over it by hitting up on the D-pad, and then just run to the left and get killed really fast. This is still the early intro of the game. We're not really in the game yet. This is like a dream sequence. So right here, just move around. You can hold right bumper or click right bumper to skip dialogue, and we'll want to be doing that to make things go a little faster. So as this opening intro sequence is going along, I'll just briefly explain how this is going to work. So again, like I said, 3 quick playthroughs. This first playthrough, we're going to be getting 6 achievements, and those are going to be Anarchy Man, Doctor, Random Hero, Stolen Car, Playing House, and Charmer. So those are the 6 achievements we're getting in this first playthrough. We'll get 5 in the second playthrough, and then the last and 12th final achievement we'll get in the third playthrough. So this game is really easy, not skill-based at all. It's basically just a less linear side-scrolling game. It doesn't really give you too much direction. That's why I say less linear, because it's kind of vague. It's very mysterious and vague. It doesn't really have a lot of direction as to where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to be doing. So once we get off this train, just follow the screen to the right. Right here, you can just skip past that guy and hit A to jump in the car. And now I'm just holding right bumper to skip all these dialogue options that are popping up. And so for this first playthrough, the one main achievement we're going to want to be focusing on is called Charmer, and that's to always check in with Buck, who is this security guard that we're driving with right now. And there's another character, Eve, who you'll see in a minute, and we need to always check in with Buck and talk to Eve. And that's going to be consistent throughout the whole playthrough, and that's mainly the focus of this playthrough. Alright, so now we can just run ahead a little bit. This is basically us taking a tour with Buck. He's showing us around the office. And so we can run ahead a little bit, but now we need to stop and let all this dialogue go through. So just hold right bumper and skip through all this. So that's the elevator to get to the upper floors of this building. We won't be using this door here. And then on the far right is where you can get into the warehouse, which you didn't show us. And then this is the security room. We'll be coming back and forth in and out of here a ton of times throughout this whole playthrough. Basically how the game is set up is you clock in for your shift. Once your shift is over, you can go home and you go to sleep, and then the next day starts. And then on certain days, certain events are triggered. And then on other days, there is very little we have to do, so we can just clock in and then go right back to bed to start the next day. So now we need to run to our apartment to get our clothes, to get our uniforms, so we can start our shift. So run back over here to the left, and if you notice there, that's a door on the right side. You have to hit A to get through that. So now go into this little path in the forest here. You hit A to get through there, and we're just going to run to the right. keep going until you get to the next screen, and this gap in the fence right here, this is where your apartment is. Hit A to go through that gap, and then A again to go through this first door in the building. And now right here, this is Eve, so we need to make sure we talk to her. You can just run by her and kind of skip this whole part, but you don't want to do that because we're going for the Charmer achievement on this first playthrough. So make sure you actually have all this dialogue pop up and you're just skipping through it to make it go fast instead of actually leaving the area to skip it. Alright, now that she's done talking, we can head to the elevator and go up to our apartment. And our apartment's on the first floor, so just hit number 1 there. And it's room 7, so just keep running over to the right until you get to the 7th room. And now you can hit A on that closet right there, the double doors, that's a closet to change into your uniform. And then we're just going to head back out and head back where we came from into the security room so we can start our shift. So now, like I said, the apartment's on the first floor, so we want to go back to the ground floor to get out of here, which is G on the elevator buttons there. So what we're doing now is what we're going to be doing every day of the game, which is check in on Buck before we start our shift. So depending on the time, you know, and how you play, what steps you take, you could miss this. So make sure every day we come in here and talk to Buck before our shift starts. And I like to stay in here until he leaves completely out of view. So like right here, he's walking past, let him leave, and now we can leave. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is collect all the cassettes. Ignore that. Go to the left. We're going to go to the first bathroom here, the one on the right side. You can see it right here on the sink. Press RB to pick up items. You can see it's kind of highlighted there. So there's 6 of these total. We're going to be grabbing all 6 of them right now. So now run all the way to the right, past these 2 doors, and into the warehouse. And it'll be on this little piece of machinery near the floor level. So you see it right there at the bottom. Right bumper to pick that up. That's 2. Now we're going to take the elevator and go to the first floor. And head to the right door. And it'll be on a desk right inside this room. Right at the beginning, right there. And now go back to the elevator and go to floor 2. And we're going to go right again, and this time we're going to have to run all the way through this room and through the next door at the end of this room. And you see it right here in this kind of kitchen area. So that's 4. Now for the 5th one, you have to play this Anarchy arcade game, and you have to complete it. And that'll give you the 5th cassette. And there's also an achievement for completing it, periods, called Anarchy Man. So that's right here. Now feel free to pause your game, just because there is like a timer on when your shift ends. I do this a little fast. I have like a minute and a half spare time, but just in case, you know, first time playing it, you might not really understand. But basically the way it works is you're moving around. You want to stay out of the vision cones of these, I mean, I guess they're patrolmen. And you want to just run around and hit A on all these black cars. It's kind of hard to tell what it's doing, whether it's like breaking into the car or whatever it is, but you just hit A on the cars to interact with them, and you see the little white bar kind of gets broken there. And so just follow the path I'm taking. You know, you don't need to try and do anything super tricky in terms of like squeezing by their vision cones. The only thing you have to worry about is like right here on this level where you need to move right at the beginning, where one will be coming right at you, so you need to move right away. And you can also kind of sneak by right there between the cars, because you can't really make it if you try and go all the way to the right there. And then for this one, make sure you grab these first 2 at the bottom on this left side before you head to the right side. So like I said, feel free to pause your game to kind of see what's coming up ahead of you, get an idea of what you're going to be doing before you try it your first time. You have plenty of time to come back and do this later if you end up not getting it here. That part right there, just make sure that top one is going right when you sneak past. And so that should be the Anarchy Man achievement for completing that. And now we just need to get one more cassette for the Doctor achievement. So we're heading up to the 3rd floor. and go through this right door. And we're going to go all the way through the next door. And it's on this desk by the lamp right there. So that's the 6th cassette, and so that's your doctor achievement. And now we're done for the day. So on this playthrough, we're basically going to be doing whatever we need for that day, and then once we're done, we're going to go to sleep. So head to the ground floor, and we're going to go all the way back to our apartments. Out of this building, back to our apartment, and head to bed. Now, like I said, depending on how fast you did the Anarchy Man, your time will likely be different than mine, whether you have more or less time. Like I said, you can hold any direction on the right stick and see your time. That's when your shift ends, and for this first day, that's when you're allowed to go to sleep. After this first day, you can just go to sleep whenever. You don't have to like finish your shift. But since this is the first day and I did it pretty fast, I'll have to wait like a minute and a half before I can go to bed. And so that's why I said, you know, pause it and try and do it within that time, so you can be around the same point as I am. And if not, if you can't finish it fast enough, you can easily come back and do that again later. And so now I need to wait a minute and a half before I can go to bed. Alright, now that the timer is done and the shift is over, now we can actually go to sleep. So just hit A on the bed, and now you're in a nightmare section. There's a couple of these throughout the game. They happen after you go to bed, obviously. So for this part, there's nothing you can do in this area. Just run all the way to the right, and there'll be some pipes that you can hit down on the D-pad to duck under and crawl past. And this is also where we're going to unlock the Random Hero achievement for saving the stranger. So right after you crawl past these pipes, there's going to be a door with an exit sign above it. Don't hit A on that door, don't go through it, just run right past it, keep moving along to the right here. And you'll see this guy in the chair. Just walk up to him, hit A, he'll stand up, and then just run to the left and go back inside this door to get out of the dream, and that'll unlock the Random Hero achievement for saving the stranger. So now get up, hit A on the closet to put on your outfit. You'll see that note on the door, and we can just leave. So that note was for meeting Eve in the relaxation room, which is where the Anarchy game is. But before we meet her, we want to do what we do every day and go check on Buck before we start our shift. Alright, so now we're back in the security room. Talk to Buck, skip this dialogue. Don't worry about what he's actually saying too, it doesn't matter, he says the same thing every day. Alright, now that he's passed, we can leave, and we're going to go up to the 2nd floor through this elevator. And to the left room to get into the relaxation room. And a lot of dialogue here, so just skip all of this. It will kind of pause for a second. You'll need to like move around, and then the dialogue will start back up. So make sure you do that. Let's see right here, now you need to move, and then the dialogue starts back up, and then you can continue skipping it. And now we're done. Okay, now that's all we had to do for this day, so again, we can go back to our apartment and go to sleep. Alright, so back in the apartment, hit A on the bed, accept or continue, whatever dialog pops up there for you to continue going to sleep. So when you wake up, just exit through that door, run past all these people. You can talk to them if you want. I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna run past. Run past this guy and run right into these enemies to end this nightmare sequence as fast as possible. Now we're back in our apartment. Hit A on the closet to put your outfit on, and we're on day 2. So now during day 2, we're going to head back to the security room. Same as always, going to check in on Buck first thing. And during this day, the power is going to go out. And so we're going to have to go and fix the generator. And the generator is near the apartment. But the whole game gets pitch black and you need to use your flashlight to navigate. So during that section, I'm going to be going a little bit slower than you may be, just so you can easily tell where I'm going, so you can easily follow. Because when you sprint, your flashlight gets put down, so you can only see in front of you when you're walking. If you're sprinting, he kind of aims his flashlight, away or whatever, so you can't see. So I'll just walk for the most part, so you guys can easily tell where I'm going. It's not a complicated path by any means, but just so you guys don't get lost at all. Alright, so now that Buck is leaving, the power actually doesn't go out until your timer, I believe, hits 5 minutes is what triggers it. So I'm just going to go upstairs, go to the 2nd floor, go into the relaxation room, which is right here on the left, and just wait, a minute or so until it hits 5 minutes, and that's when the outage will trigger. Alright, so right at 5 minutes, the power goes out, and you can hit X to turn your flashlight on. And so you can just skip all this dialogue. You have to skip it before it'll let you start moving. And what we're going to want to do is just leave out of here the same way we would and head towards the apartment. And like I said, I'm going to walk so you guys can just make sure you know where I'm going in relation to where you are in your game. So head to the elevator, go down to the ground floor. We're going to go left, and this is going past the security room. You see as there, I just ran for a second and the flashlight went out. So hit A to go through that door. Make sure you hit A there and don't just walk into the wall. And we're going to leave out of this building and go through the forest path that's right outside. Now we're heading to the right until we get to the next screen. Now this is the screen where you would go to the apartment, but we're going to continue past and keep going to the right. We're going to hit another 2 screens before we get to the building that we want. So now that was 1 screen. We're going to keep going to the right. And the 2nd one. And now you can see this little lightning symbol indicating the power room. And on the far right here you hit A. Now to do this, you see these little gray squares. I'm moving around them with my D-pad, and then to actually interact you need to use your left stick and hold A. So start on that bottom left one and hold A, and then go up to the one right above it, diagonal to the right to the middle, bottom left, all the way right, back to the middle, top right, all the way left, to the top, bottom right, and then down. You're making that envelope symbol that's there on the notepad. So as long as you just follow the same path I just did right there. Like I said, it's a little weird. You hold left and use the A button to kind of drag that line to each square. And that'll turn the power back on, fix the generator, and now we can just head right back into our apartment and go to sleep. Because that's all we needed for day 2. Now right here, when I go to sleep, the dream sequence was actually a little different for me on this playthrough for whatever reason. I'm not sure. It shouldn't affect anything. Right here, I've done it before where I had the stranger from that that we saved for the achievement was in a bed on the left there, and so you had to talk to him as well. Either way, it doesn't matter. Whether it looks like this for you or it's different, just skip all the dialogue. You do this part the same way regardless. We'll still be able to get the same achievements we're going for. I'm not really sure what caused the difference here. But just skip all the dialogues, whether it's just the two cops or the two cops and the guy in the bed. Just skip all dialogue, then come to the right here, change clothes from that locker, and then hit A to jump out the window. Then you're going to be shimmying on this ledge. Now you can, if you want, try not to get caught. I'm just going to get caught right away to make it go faster. You see this guy walks past the window. Just stay in this window so when he walks by again, he sees you and you get caught. Now get up, put your clothes on, and we're on day 3. There's going to be a red light here in your bathroom. Just ignore that. That's part of the next playthrough. We'll do that on that one. So just ignore that for now. We're going to go check in on Buck back in the security room. Alright, now we're back at Buck, so just skip all this dialogue. He'll thank you for turning the generator on. He'll leave. And that's all we need to do for day 3. So again, we're going to go back to our apartment and just go right to sleep. On our next playthrough, we're going to be doing things a little differently because there's an achievement to never fall asleep in your apartment. So we'll be doing more exploration and doing things a little differently since we're going to be waiting out the whole time for our shift to end instead of just running straight to bed and skipping the day essentially. So as you're running up to your apartment, this time there won't be a nightmare when you go to sleep. You'll just wake up immediately, put on your clothes, and it'll be day 4. And instead of immediately going to the security room, we're actually going to go upstairs to Buck's office on the 2nd floor. But just so we don't get too far ahead of ourselves, go ahead and go to sleep. Make sure you do all this. Wake up, put your clothes on. We're on day 4, and now again, instead of going downstairs and leaving right away, we're going to take the elevator to the 2nd floor and go into Buck's room, which is room 6. Almost directly above us. Ours is 7, but his is actually 6. And there's going to be a big key on the wall just to the right of the door as you enter. You'll be able to see it highlighted here, right there, and just hit right bumper to grab that. And now we can go into the security room and check on Buck. That's actually his car key, which we'll be using to steal his car for the stolen car achievement. But first, make sure before you do anything with this car, make sure you check in on him for the last time inside the security room. So go inside before we do anything with the car. Run right through the door, talk to Buck, let him leave, and then we'll go outside and interact with the car. Alright, so come here to the car outside, hit A, and that should be the stolen car achievement for stealing Buck's car. Right here, these people run into you. Just let it happen, it doesn't matter, you can't really get away from that. Now you're back in your apartment, walk around and skip this dialogue. It'll take a second, but it'll just teleport you out of this room. So just either walk around or stand there for a little bit until it does. And the next part actually says don't move. I'm not 100% sure if moving affects anything, but just to be safe, just don't hit anything on your controller right here. In case if you get up, you die or something like that. Alright, so now when we wake up from that, we can just walk all the way to the right, and you'll find Eve on the right side. She'll have a few lines of dialogue, and then you just walk right into her and she kind of knocks you over. And right after that, you should get the Playing House achievement for making Eve fall in love with you. So here's Eve, talk to her, walk into her, she knocks you down, and the achievement should unlock right here for Playing House. Alright, so then when you wake up, just hit A to change clothes right there on the closet, and skip a whole bunch of dialogue here as you're talking with Eve. We're getting really close to the end now. So just a heads up, coming up here, get ready to not run. So just try and get into the habit of walking here. So we're going to go to the right, hit right bumper on this jacket to get a key that's inside the jacket pocket. Go inside the storage room, hold A to move this shelving unit to push it away, then hit A to open this vent. And so right around here, start walking, go right through that door to the right through this door. Because if you get caught running, you can get killed. So just start walking instead of running. We're going to go through this elevator on the right, and then immediately go left and hit down on the D-pad to hide behind this dumpster. So there's this dumpster right here, I'm going to hit down, you gotta crouch behind it, and this android is going to walk past. So if you run, he'll automatically hear you and he'll just start coming after you. So you just walk, you know, if you're crouched past that dumpster, he won't see you, and then if you just walk after he passes by, he won't notice you, and you can just keep on moving. Now once you're through this door, now you can run, because now you're, you know, a room away essentially, so he can't hear you. Go through this door and pick up this configuration CD right here. And now we need to use it on him to make him friendly. So the inventory system's a little weird. You hit back and you hit A and kind of drag it over to him. It doesn't really work that well. So instead just run, let him get right up on you, and then do it. Because after he hits you, you get stunned for a second. And now you will be injured. There's some bandages coming up here. Your injury might be in a different location than mine. It doesn't make a difference. So just hit A on this button on the right here, and the android will open up this elevator for you, or the door. And now you can go through here, all the way on the far right, hit A, and then hit right bumper to pick up the bandages. In your inventory, hit right trigger, and then you hold A to drag and drop the bandages on wherever your injury is. And then before you leave, make sure you hit A on that little red button on the wall there. That'll open this big kind of garage door here, and let us keep exiting to the left. So through the garage door, through that door on the left, running past the security room, and we're going to head outside. Now outside, I guess it's Buck, but there's some floating dialogue. I guess it's an invisible Buck. I'm not really sure. So skip all this dialogue before you run past. And now we can continue on to the left. And coming up here, we're going to see Eve behind us. She'll be on our right as we're running left. Don't stop and don't turn around to go talk to her. Just keep running to the left and just ignore her. So right here through this screen, she'll pop up on the right. Just don't worry about her. Keep going left. Hit A to go through these doors. Run to the top of the escalator and hit A to go down the escalator. And then keep running to the left and hit A to get into the train. And that is our first playthrough. If you were following along, you should have 6 of the achievements. You should have unlocked the Charmer achievement right there at the end. And now we just have 2 more quick playthroughs to get the other 6 achievements. We're getting 5 on the second playthrough and then 1 on our last one. Alright, now time to start our second playthrough. So just back in the main menu, just hit play instead of continue to start up a brand new game. Same intro, nothing changes from this part, just move the dumpster, jump over the fence, run to the side, get killed by the creatures. Just trying to finish this dream sequence as fast as possible. So like I mentioned earlier, on the second playthrough we'll be getting 5 of the remaining 6 achievements we have left to get. And those 5 will be Conformist, Buxical, Terminated, Peeping Tom, and Insomniac. The main ones that we need to be paying attention for and really going to cause the most difference are Conformist and Insomniac. Insomniac is for never going to sleep. So you basically, at the end of the day, like we were doing in the first playthrough where we would go back to the apartment and go to sleep in the bed, instead, this time, we're never going to go back to the apartment. So at the end of every day, we're just going to stay in the security room and let the time run out until your guy just eventually passes out. So there's going to be a good amount of idling on this playthrough because you kind of just have to wait until the timer is up on your shift. And then you have to wait a few more minutes before your guy actually falls asleep. And then the other ones, two miscellaneous ones. Peeping Tom is for collectibles, and then Conformist is for completing the 3 main objectives. I'll show you, once we get a little closer, I'll show you in your journal, when you hit the back button, you actually can see your objectives. But just to start off here, same thing as before, just run up the escalator, run outside, jump into the car. Again, we're going to be skipping as much dialogue as possible, skipping by certain parts where we don't have to talk to people anymore. Unlike the first playthrough where we were talking to Buck and Eve as much as we could, now we're going to be skipping by them almost always, since we don't have to befriend them for the charm achievement. So same thing as before, Buck's going to give us a tour of the facility. We can just run ahead a little bit on this part, get to the elevator where we have to stop and he has to describe what's going on in this area. So again, right bumper to skip past all this dialogue. Once you actually get to the security room, you can press A to enter right away. You don't have to skip all the dialogue. Once he starts talking, you just hit A to enter. You can also just hit A to leave right after that as well. You don't need to let him finish talking. So right here, you can just hit A, leave. We're going to go grab our outfit from our apartment. Again, we'll see Eve at the apartment this time. Last time we stopped and skipped all the dialogue. Now we can just run right past her and just go upstairs and grab our uniform. So now we're in the apartment building, run right by, going to the first floor, room 7 again, if you forgot. Grab the uniform out of the closet, and we're going to return right back to Buck back at the facility. Head to the ground floor to leave. Now if you remember on the first playthrough, the first achievement we got was for the Anarchy Man arcade game, which was upstairs in the facility. If you happen to not get that, now's the time you can try it again. Because as I said, we'll be sitting here waiting for the time to run out. So I'm just going to sit here and kill time. If you didn't get that achievement on the first playthrough, you can go and try again now. There'll also be another point or two where we're just waiting to kill time where you can try it again there. So right here, talk to Buck, let him leave the room. And now I'm just going to sit here, like I said, go grab the Anarchy Man achievement. It's on the 2nd floor, up the elevator to the door on the left, that arcade machine. So feel free to go grab that if you missed it. Otherwise, you're just going to stand here. You can hit right on any direction on the right stick to see the time left of the shift. And then once that time is out, you'll get a quick dialogue scene. And So just so you know, before you walk away or anything, once this time actually runs out, you'll get a quick dialogue where it'll say he's tired and it shifts over. You have to continue that dialogue by holding right bumper, and then after another 2 or so minutes, he'll fall asleep. So you can't just go walk away, because else it'll just stop on the dialogue. You actually need to get to the point where that dialogue pops up, skip it, and then wait another 2 minutes or so until he falls asleep where he's standing. Alright, so if you're paying attention, that right there was the little dialogue that popped up after the shift actually ends. So you have to make sure you skip that with right bumper, as I said before. And now you still need to wait maybe another 2 minutes or so. I'm not actually sure on the time, but you still need to wait a little bit until he falls asleep. Just passes out right here in the room. Make sure again you don't go back to your apartment to go to sleep, because that will void the Insomniac achievement, which is the main one we're trying to go for on this playthrough, is to never go to sleep in your room. So just stay here until he passes out. Alright, so now he's finally passed out, and we're going to enter right into the first nightmare section. So same thing as if we went to bed, went to sleep in our bed, but this time we just passed out on the floor instead. So these nightmare sections don't change at all. It'll be the same thing as last time. If you did happen to miss the random hero achievement on the first playthrough for saving the stranger that's at the end of this sequence, you can get that now. I'm going to be skipping it because I already have it and it doesn't affect anything other than if you need that achievement. So feel free to continue to the right here and hit A on that guy in the chair. If not, if you already have that, then just hit A on the door to leave the dream. Okay, put on your clothes, and now we're starting day 1. So the same way as we did last time for this day, we just want to start off talking to Buck. And we're going to be working towards the Conformist achievement to start with. And that's for, like I said, completing all 3 objectives. Once we get to the security room, I'll show you where in your inventory you can actually see the progress on your objectives. So skip this dialogue, and now you can hit the back or view button on Xbox One to open up your inventory, and hit A on this notepad, and it'll bring up your objectives there. And you can see it said talk to Eve, and it was incomplete, so let's go talk to her. She'll be upstairs, 2nd floor, in the room on the left, same spot we talked to her last time. So come in here and just skip all this dialogue. Again, make sure when there's a little pause in the dialogue right there during this section, you move around to trigger it again and then skip the rest of it. Now we can leave, and that's all we had to do for this day. So we're going to go back down to the security room and pass out in there again, just like we did the day before. If you want to check your notepad, you can see that the objective is now complete. Just to confirm that that's all we had to do for today. And now you just sit here and let the time run out again. Skip the dialogue once the shift ends, and then wait another 2-3 minutes or so until your guy actually passes out. Alright, so we've passed out now. And we're waking up in the same nightmare sequence, so just run to the right, through the door, past all the people in the bar, out this door, and skip past this guy, and just run and get captured to end it as fast as possible. So now we're going to wake back up, put on our clothes, and it's going to be the start of day 2. This is the day where the generator breaks down. So we're going to want to do the same thing we did as first playthrough. We're going to go talk to Buck to start off the shift, and then the generator is going to break down at the 5-minute mark, and then we're going to go fix it. And last time, if you remember, I actually went up and stayed in the recreational room where the Anarchy Man arcade machine is. You don't actually have to go up there, it'll trigger wherever you're at on the 5-minute mark. So this time I just stay in the security room, so you don't have to come all the way back down the elevator. So go in here, talk to Buck, skip this dialogue. Use the right stick to check your time. If you want, you can check your objectives. The fixed power is the second objective. This is part of the conformist achievement. This is the second objective, so we'll have to do this. And the generator, same thing. The generator will cut off at the 5-minute mark, so just wait until then. Alright, so the generator cut off. We can actually move around when we're down here. We don't have to skip all the dialogue like last time. So this time I'm going to be running a little bit, just because you guys should know the path by now. You saw me do this in the first playthrough. It's the same exact path, just heading back to the apartment building. If you remember though, when you sprint, your flashlight goes down for a second. So I'm just intermittently sprinting. You should still be able to see where I'm going, and you should know how to get there by yourself this time after doing it on the first playthrough. It's the same exact way. Here we are passing the apartment building, continuing on to the right. We're going to pass another screen, just running right, and here we are at the generator room. So A to get in, and then A to access this machine here. And the same little mini game. Start from the bottom left, go up, middle, bottom left, bottom right, middle, top right, top left, very top, back down to the right, and down again. Alright, now my controller actually dies here. Okay, so now just head out of this building. And you guessed it, we are done for the day, so we're going to go right back to the security room and fall asleep. Just wait out the rest of the time of your shift, just like we have the last 2 nights. Skip the dialogue, and then wait until your guy passes out. Alright, so now we're passing out. We're going to be in this nightmare sequence. Now depending if you did the Save the Stranger achievement, he'll either be in this room or he won't. Either way, just skip all the dialogue, grab your clothes from the closet, and jump out of the window. Same exact way we did on the first playthrough. So if he's in here, you'll have to talk to him and these cops and then back to him. If he's not in here, it's just talking to the cops for a little bit longer. But either way, it's the same process. And again, I just get caught in this window right here to make it a little faster. You can try and sneak by if you want. Doesn't really matter. Alright, now is where things start to get very different. So now, this playthrough is going to be completely different from how we did the first time. So now we're going to pay attention to this red light, and we're actually going to figure out what it was. Last time we ignored it. So we're going to go down to the ground floor, and by that main entrance desk, there's a door right next to it. And you're going to want to enter that room. So going down to the ground floor, to the right, there's a door right here, go inside, and there'll be a fire hydrant on the left side of this room. So pick that up with RB. You can hit back on your inventory to check to make sure it's in there. It'll be on the left side. Now we're going to take that, we're going to go up to the 4th floor, and it's going to be the 4th room. So we're going to go up in the same building, back up to the 4th floor, and into the 4th room. And in here is where we're going to find one of the key cards that we're going to need to get down to the lower level. So it's right here on a little lanyard on this wall. So just RB to grab that. And back to the elevator, we're going to go to the 1st floor, room 6. So it's a room right next to ours, which is creating the red light. And to get in, you need to open your inventory with the back button, select the fire hydrant, and drag it over to the door and use it on the door to bust it down. And they'll just automatically kind of teleport you in here. Once you're in here, you can skip this dialogue. Make sure you hit A on that, or A or RB on that little dresser to grab the key. Make sure it's in your inventory. You can run past Buck here, you can skip the dialogue, but running past is just faster. And we're going to head to the facility and use the elevator there. So like I said, I did that a little fast, so just make sure you get inside with the fire hydrant, take the key from that little drawer, check your inventory, make sure it's there, and then you're free to just run past Buck and head to the facility. Now we're going to the 4th floor. We're going to be using the same elevator that we've been using. The reason I say that is because there's the other elevator to the right that leads down to the ground floor, the basement levels, which we'll be using later. But for now, 4th floor. And you're going to run over here to the left, and there's a safe on the wall. So hit A to interact with the safe. Press back to open your inventory, and drag that key onto the safe. And for some reason, it'll press a button, so I just backed out to reset the code. But you go back in, and the code is 1973, and then hit right bumper to grab that key card once it's unlocked. And so then when you take that, you can go back to the ground floor and use the key card to open this door, and now we'll be heading down to the basement levels. And you should have unlocked the Conformist achievement there for completing all objectives in the notebook. So now this is going to take us straight to the end of the game. This is just one long shot. There's no more nightmare sequences, going to bed, anything like that. From now on, I would also recommend you just walk, because there's going to be androids in this area, and it's a lot easier if you're just walking around. You can also, if you need to, just hit start and go to main menu quick. Like if you're getting hit too many times, you can just hit start and go to main menu, and you'll be not too far back at a checkpoint. So right behind that desk you saw there's a vent. Just hit A to go to that vent, and then go through this other vent here. There's this bottle of alcohol on this little desk. You can check your inventory, make sure you have it. Back in the vent, and continue on right. Now you can't do it now, but just to show you this machine right here, we actually need another ingredient. So we're going to go back in the vent and continue along. And right here you'll see Buck is dead in the freezer, and this will unlock the Bucksicle achievement for finding Buck in the freezer. Make sure you go over there on the right and grab that other item, which was dry ice, and then you can head back to this machine to put both the dry ice and the alcohol in this machine, and then it'll create liquid nitrogen. Make sure you have that in your inventory. Pick it up. I'm not sure if it instantly goes there. You need to pick it up. If this android is walking along, make sure you're ducking behind these desks or inside a vent. Like I said, you want to be walking through this whole point. There's really no need to run, so just walk to make sure you don't actually have an android, accidentally have an android chasing you. So once he goes past, continue along to the left. Now there's this android here that's going to kind of chase you. I just jump in this room, and it's like an automatic thing where he busts through, and it looks like he's going to grab you, but you're good. He just dies off right after that. I didn't take any damage. I'm not injured. So if you just do that the same way, it should work out. You can either just go in and out of that door as well. It can work. So you want to grab the liquid nitrogen out of your inventory and use it on this door, and then grab the fire hydrant and use it where the liquid nitrogen is to break through the door. Now if you need bandages, you can grab it out of here, but you want to get the gun out of there either way. Actually, I think there isn't any bandages in there, it's just the gun. So make sure you grab that gun, because we're going to need that for an achievement. Press the red button on the left, and use the elevator. The red button, unlock the elevator. So now on this level, we're going to be starting to get VHS tapes. So we're going to go ahead and grab 2 right now. So there's these 4 doors here. Go into the 3rd door. There's a tape right down here on this first desk. I just grabbed it right to the right of that monitor. And in the 4th door, there's another tape right on the same similar looking desk. And there are androids walking around here, so again, make sure you're still walking. Go through that vent at the end of the same room. We just picked up that 2nd tape. Pass that first opening and go to this 3rd one. And in here there'll be a little battery you can see. It's right above that yellow shaped thing. Actually go in and out of here. You kinda, depending on how the android is moving, just try and work around him. I was thinking he would walk left again, but he doesn't. He keeps on just spawning to the left and walking right. I was trying to time it so he would be walking left, but you can just kind of walk a little slower. Don't run, just walk, and then right bumper to grab it right there, right above that yellow thing on the ground, and then jump back in the vent. Now you can go all the way left, and again there's another android, so make sure you hide behind this dumpster or jump in a vent so he doesn't catch you. And this time we're going to be grabbing a hand and exiting this room from the far right side. So both of them are going to be to our right. So we're going to just sit here and wait until the android passes us, and then grab the hand and leave at the same time. So the hand was right there on the edge of that little table. And then we're just going to continue on and exit through the door on the right. Now we can run in here, we're safe. Now you get close enough. I actually wasn't that close enough so I had to move, but get close enough. And in your inventory, you use the battery and the hand and interact with this machine. It'll give you like an electrified hand. And make sure before you sprint out of this room to grab this dumpster that's right behind us and use it to kill this android. And also make sure you grab that hand out of that machine. As you saw, it was just in my inventory. So right here, push this dumpster with A, kind of ram it into this little android there. It'll kill you otherwise if you don't do that. So now we're going to get the Terminated achievement, which is for killing an android. I actually back up right here. The android didn't spawn in this room for me, so if it doesn't spawn, you can just go in and out. This time he wasn't there. So for the gun, it's B to take it out, and then A to shoot. It's kind of weird. Sometimes I'll just reload randomly. Like right there, it just reloaded. So what I usually do is just shoot at him. He'll run up and hit you, and then as he's kind of stunned after hitting you, then just move aside a little bit, and then finish unloading the rest of your ammo into him. Keep shooting him until he falls all the way down to make sure he's dead. So now after that, now we're just going to leave this room. And we're going to be heading towards an area where there's bandages. So if you did take damage, which you most likely did, don't worry about it too much because we're heading to a spot where there's bandages to heal yourself now. Hopefully you didn't get hit in the leg like I did. Make it go a little faster because it's really slow to walk when you get injured in the leg. So past the elevator. Now we're going to use the hand from my inventory to open up this door to allow us to go through. In this little cabinet right here, you can grab bandages. Use that in your inventory to heal yourself wherever you got injured. And make sure you press the red button on the far left in this room as well to open up the elevator. And then go through the elevator now that we unlocked it. So now we're on a new floor. Hide behind this little vending machine here. There is going to be an android here. Make sure you don't kill him. We need this android for later to open up the next door that's on the far right side of this room. So make sure you don't use your gun and kill this one instead of that last one. So going through this far left door, there's a tape right here. That's our third tape. And continue along and go through this door, and all the way to the right side here there's a tape recorder, which we'll need as well. So right there in between the chairs on this little desk. So now we're going to go back, and in that same room we were just in before, there's two slots, one on the left and one on the right. We're going to put the tape recorder on the left slot. As you can see, they're kind of highlighted there. So tape recorder goes in the left one, then you move right, and you can select a tape here, and you want to select Accident 2, and let the entire video play. Don't back out of it. Just don't hit anything on your controller, and just let the entire video play out. We're going to be using this as a decoy, so it doesn't work if you accidentally back out of it too soon. So once that's done, check your inventory. You should have the tape recorder in there, and you can leave. And now slowly walk behind this android. He'll pass by that same vent, or the same vending machine we hid behind before. And now you can hide behind it. Then we just need to wait for him to pass us on the left so we can go to the right side of the room. Again, don't kill this android because we need him to get past this door coming up here. And once he passes by, there's going to be a hole on the left side of this door. We're going to want to get close enough to the hole, grab the tape recorder off our inventory, and drop it in the hole. And then try and, as fast as you can without running, move back to the left and hide behind the same vending machine. You can, if you're having a little trouble with that, you can go farther left to that other cover. That was, if you saw, it was like another big square thing you could hide behind. That gives you a little more space to move right and then left again. It gives you more time to walk because he is just traveling a longer distance. But it's right there. I mean, it's no trouble. You just walk there. As long as you're not having too much trouble filling with the menu system, it should be fine. Again, if you need to, just quit to the main menu and you should be... I'm not 100% sure, but you should have a fairly close save. So now this door is open. And you can come in here, and there's our last tape recorder, which should unlock the Peeping Tom achievement. There's also a cabinet there you can grab healing stuff. Make sure you press the red button to unlock the elevator, and we're going through the elevator. So again, that was the Peeping Tom achievement for collecting all the tapes. Now we're in the last area, so hide behind this dumpster. And this area we're going to do the same exact way as we did on the first playthrough. If you remember, we hid behind that dumpster, the android walks past, we go all the way to the left, and we grab the reconfiguration disc. And we're going to reconfigure him to be friendly, to open the door for us. Same exact way as last time. And again, I'm going to just get myself hit because it's a little weird how they want you to use this. So I just get hit there, use the reconfiguration disc on him. I actually have some bandages from before, so I just went ahead and healed myself now. If you don't, in the room that we're heading to, there's bandages. The room where the android is going to open up, so don't worry about that. So hit the button on the right to have him open it. Go inside. Hit the red button in the middle to open the elevator. Here's the cabinet for bandages if you need it. And now we can leave. So now you can open up this big garage door, exit to the left, and we're going to be running outside and just continue on to the left, and that will complete this playthrough. If you did everything the same way I did, this will unlock the Insomniac achievement for not going to sleep. And the only achievement you will be missing is the final one, which is Getaway, the 12th and final achievement. So as we continue on right here, these gangsters, if you remember them from the first playthrough, where we kind of had a run-in with them. And so now this is a different ending. Alright, now you should have the Insomniac achievement, and it's only one more to go. Alright, and now time to begin our third and final playthrough. If you've been following along this whole time, this will be the last playthrough. It'll be really quick, only about 20 minutes. And this will get you your final achievement. If you've been getting everything as I have, you should be at 11 out of 12 achievements total for 850 gamer score. The last achievement, Getaway, will be getting during this playthrough, and is worth 150 to finish off the 100% for this game. So at the beginning here, we're just going to play through like normal, get through this little intro section as fast as possible, get caught by these creatures, just to make it go a little faster, go through the train, and then we'll meet up with Buck so he can take us to the facility. So again, just like before, we can just jump right into the car. We're going to be skipping as much dialogue as possible, just like the other two playthroughs, to try and make this go a little faster. And in this playthrough, there's only one section where we have to wait until the shift ends. Like the last playthrough, we did that about 3 times, so it took up a good amount of time. But this playthrough, we only have to do that once, and then after that, it's smooth sailing right to the end. Alright, so you can just go in and out of that security room to make things go a little faster. We're going to run back to our apartment and grab our uniform. And instead of coming right back, we'll actually do something a little bit different. So, just a quick heads up. But for now, just go back to the apartment, go to your closet, and change into your uniform. And again, we don't need to mess with Eve this playthrough, so you can just run past her and go right upstairs. Now after you grab your outfit, you're going to want to go down to the main floor of this building and go through the door that's to the left of the desk. We went there before to grab the fire extinguisher. We're going to be going to that same spot and grabbing that fire extinguisher again on this playthrough. So right here, right next to the desk, and run all the way to the left. RB to pick up the fire extinguisher. You can press back to make sure it's in your inventory, make sure you have it. And then we'll go and meet up with Buck. Alright, now when you're coming into here, don't skip all the dialogue, so run into the room and let Buck talk, but don't press right bumper to skip it. Instead, get close to him, open up your inventory, select the fire hydrant, and then click A on him to use the fire hydrant on him and kill him with it. So don't like skip the dialogue to make him run out of the room. You want him to just stay there while you figure that out. The inventory system's a little weird in this game, so first time I tried that it was a little finicky and it wouldn't get used on him. It was saying I was too far away even though I was right next to him. But anyways, once you do that, now you can go back to your apartment and we're going to be going to sleep. But because this is still the first day, you can't sleep until after your shift is over, so you can't skip your shift on this very first day. So this is the one time where we'll have to wait out the shift time. So probably around 5 minutes or so, depending on how fast you're moving back and forth between these areas. So just run back to your room, wait out the time, and then once the time is up, you can go to sleep immediately. Alright, so now the shift has ended, and now we can just go right to sleep. Now make sure during these nightmares, they'll be the same way as they have been in the other two playthroughs, but make sure you're getting caught right away and just ending them as soon as possible. We'll be doing these back to back. You'll be able to just go to sleep right after you come out of the nightmare and go right into the next one. But the way I'm going to be doing it is I'm just going to get caught as soon as possible and then start up the next one. And that's the only way you see me do these, but you can actually like escape from the creatures instead of just getting caught and ending it right away. You can just like run away and find an exit. So right here after you finish that one, that was the first one, the pipes one I'm going to call it. You can just go right back to sleep, don't get up and put your clothes on, just go right back to sleep and enter the next dream. So now I'm going to call this one the bar nightmare. So this is the second nightmare. Same thing, just run away. Run past those people, run out here. Once creatures have come, just stand here and just get caught. Now you're waking up in the next day. Again, don't put your clothes on, just go right back to sleep. You can just hit A after you sit up like that. And now we're in the hospital nightmare. And so same thing for this one, skip all this dialogue. The guy won't be over there on the side because we didn't talk to him in the first nightmare. That's probably that random hero achievement for saving the guy. So he's not going to be there, it's just going to be these cops talking to you. Alright, then put your clothes on, jump out the window and get caught on the first window that you can, which is not the second one here, but the next one. And now for me, I had a weird thing where it didn't actually work correctly the first time, but you want to go to sleep 3 times right here. So that was the first one. Then we wake up again. Now we're going to go to sleep again a second time. And now we're going to go to sleep a third time. Alright, so now you can get up and put your clothes on and we'll head towards the facility. If it worked right, you shouldn't have a day pop up when you put your clothes on like it usually does. The red light should be over there. So now you can just head out and run to the facility. The first time I did this, I went to sleep twice and it didn't appear to work. Because when you head to the facility, you should see the gangsters and they should stop you and you get put into a cutscene. And they weren't there, so I ran back and went to sleep another time and then came back and they were there. So if that, for whatever reason, happens to you, the gangsters aren't here, just go back to your apartment, go to sleep, and come back out here and they should be there. So once you get out here, these guys should be standing here. If they're not, then like I said, just go to sleep again and come back and they should be there. So just stay here, skip all this dialogue, and you'll get put into another scene. Okay, Okay, so now we're in this room, and now we're basically playing out the same way the ending was on our first playthrough. Where we're going to get teleported to that bar where they say don't move, so don't move your controller. And then we're going to run to the right, and Eve's going to be there, and she's going to, like, punch us. Okay, so now we're in the bar, don't move muscle. Or whatever this place is, a club or something. Alright, now you can just get up and run all the way to the right. Eve will be there. Just run right into her so she hits you and you'll get teleported again. Alright, wake up, and we're doing this the same exact way as we did the first playthrough, so just put on your clothes, skip all this dialogue. She'll mention the storage key. We're going to be going through that same storage vent that we did the first time. Alright, run over to the right, grab the key from the jacket with RB, enter through this storage door, move this shelving unit, and go through the vent. Go through this first door that you come right out of, walk right a little bit, go through that first door, and start walking here because the android is going to show up, so just trying to mentally prepare you to not run so you don't run right into him by accident. So go through this elevator, and here's where the android is. Crouch behind this dumpster to let him pass. And this is the same android that we used the CD to reconfigure to make him friendly and open the door for us. So we're going to do that, the same thing again. So just once he passes, walk left, go through the door, pick up the reconfiguration disc, and then use it on him. Again, I just run right into him, let him hit me once, so I can more easily use it on him. There'll be bandages up here, like usual, so don't worry if you get hit. If you're close to dying, if he hits you like twice, you can always press start and go to main menu and then hit continue, and you'll have a save that's really close. So make sure you do that if it looks like you're about to die and you for some reason can't put the reconfiguration thing on him. Just make sure you hit that button, grab bandages if you need to. And then now we're clear to just leave this area. So back through that door, through the big gate, out through the door on the left, and we're just going to run all the way to the train from here, which is just all the way left. Because we killed Buck, he won't be out here in either form, either alive or invisible like that first playthrough was. And Eve also doesn't show up once we get to the train station. Alright, so Eve's not on the right side. We just enter in, press A to go down the escalator, and press A to enter the train, and that is it. You will unlock the getaway achievement for 150 gamer score, and that completes Uncanny Valley for the full 1000 gamer score. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this video. First time doing this on Mac's channel. Big shout out to him for trying this out. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, look for more walkthroughs in the future, more achievement and trophy guides, and I'll see you guys later.